Who knows how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with. That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're an Oreo cookie. White in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro. I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I would slap you.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Thank you so much for being with me. I am back. I'm going to talk about that at the bottom of this hour. I am back from Sacramento, California. I had a good time up there yesterday. But for now, I have someone with me of whom I have great respect for. A man, talking about men, a man of courage. And he's not afraid, and he put it out there for you and let you deal with it. Andrew Klavan is with me. Andrew is the host of new series, The Revolting Truth from Truth Revolt. He's an author, screenwriter, and cultural commentator for PJTV and Truth Revolt. Before I bring him in, I want you to just give you a quick example of one of his videos. I played this before on the show, but this is to remind the new folks, the folks who are tuning in for the first time. Let's go to clip A there, Andre.
I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Revolting Truth. Now that the Obamacare sign-up deadline has come and then gone again, and been delayed and then come, then suddenly without warning been decreed to be gone, and then returned and sort of snuck past under the radar, and then, surprise, popped up and has come and then gone. It's time to take a fair, nonpartisan look at the costs and benefits and even more enormous costs of the Affordable Care Act, to examine the administration's claims for its signature domestic achievement and separate the lies from the distortions and fantasies. For instance, the president recently ridiculed conservative concerns about the act by saying there are still no death panels. Armageddon has not arrived.
There are still no death panels. Armageddon has not arrived.
Let's examine those statements, true or false, or complete crap. There is no death panel in Obamacare, but there is the Independent Payment Advisory Board, 15 unelected bureaucrats who will employ the very latest in dartboards, graft, and magic 8-balls to determine whether your Medicare costs are affordable or you should be killed. Obamacare supporters point out that this is not like pushing our old people out to sea on ice floes, since global warming will melt all the ice floes and it'll just be like taking a warm bath and then you'll be dead. As for whether Armageddon has arrived, while there have been wars and rumors of wars and earthquakes in diverse places, the moon has not yet turned to blood. So there's something positive we can say about Obamacare.
Amazing stuff, huh? We got to take your calls at 888-775-3773. Andrew, good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Man, I have the utmost respect for you, as I said. You know, I know, and I think most of Americans know now, even though some may not admit it, that Obama has lied to us and lied to us and lied to us. And your videos are there, I believe, in an attempt to awaken America about all of these lies that we've been told by our government and the liberal media. Is that working?
Is it working? Are the lies working, or is it? Are we getting back? Listen, I think people know when they've been lied to. You know,
yes.
That's like Abraham Lincoln said: you can fool some of the people all of the time, and all of them some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And I think that that's what this administration has been trying to do. It's been absurd. I mean, the only thing that I try to point out with these videos is just how absurd it is to keep telling people that they're not seeing what they're seeing. We're seeing healthcare costs go up. We're seeing an absolute disaster of the rollout of this program. But the program itself is a bad idea, the Obamacare program, and it's just part of the bigger Obama program of government seizing people's wealth and giving it to those people that the government decrees should have the wealth instead. That never works. It never does anything but increase poverty. It never does anything but increase misery all around. And that's the program of this administration. And of course it doesn't work. It's never worked in all of history. So he has to lie.
But, yesterday I spoke at a Tea Party rally in Sacramento, California. And what I heard there yesterday, and I hear it around the country, is that there are people who understand, and they can see what's going on, but because Obama is black, he's supported by the liberal media, the Republicans, especially quote-unquote rhino Republicans, are not going to do anything about it for fear of being called racist. So we see scandal after scandal after scandal, and folks are starting to, those who can see are starting to feel helpless, in some cases hopeless in the situation. What do we do about this?
Well, it's a real problem, and I think it's a special problem in the media, in the news media, which I think is really snake bit by this racial prejudice. It's racial prejudice. This is this idea that one group of Americans should be treated basically like babies. That they're helpless, poor little people who've been hard done by, whether they're blacks or women or anybody that the left determines is some kind of victim, and that has just frozen the news media in reporting this scandal-ridden administration. And the thing that gets me is I don't know why people want to be treated like this, anybody, and why anybody wants to be treated like a victim. I think we're all given our shot in the world. I know that, look, there are people who were born with a lot more money than I ever had, and I know that there's some way that that's not fair, but that's not my problem. If I waste my life worrying about that, my life is going to be pretty miserable.
That's right.
And so I think, you write about this all the time, Jesse. I mean, if you don't take your own life in your own hands and think of yourself as a free individual going forward, you're going to have a bad life. But that is the way the Democrat Party gets votes. I mean, that is the way people like Obama get votes. And the press is so snake-bit by this fear of being called prejudice that they have just essentially gone blind to the IRS scandal, the Benghazi scandal, all these scandals, the lies, as you say, that he told about Obamacare. They've just gone blind to them. And I think it's a terrible way to treat people. I think people should be held to the same standard all across the board and treated the same way, especially, this guy is the most powerful person on earth, or one of them. He shouldn't get some kind of pass out of some fear of being called racist. It's ridiculous.
And you're right about the victim mentality. I grew up on a plantation, as you know. I was not educated well. I had to work the plantation, so I didn't get a great education. My English is broken, as everybody and their mama can tell. But because I was taught to work hard and to take care of myself, thanks to God and the teaching that my parents gave me, my grandparents gave me, I've done quite well for myself in life because I know how to take care of myself. And I believe that if I put the energy out there to work and do the right thing, that nothing can stop me. And that's the mentality that most black people had when I was growing up. I'll let you respond to that and some other things right after this break. Back in a moment.